Good morning, students. Today let us solve some problems related to a vehicle taking turn on a level road and a vehicle taking turn on a bank road. Okay, first let us solve a problem of a cyclist. A cyclist speeding at 18 km per hour on a level road. A cyclist speeding at 18 km per hour on a level road takes a sharp turn of radius 3 meter. Takes a sharp turn of radius 3 meter without reducing the speed. It doesn't reduce the speed. The coefficient of static friction between the tire surface of the cycle and the road surface is 0.1. Will the cyclist take the turn safely or slip while taking turn? So this is an interesting problem. Speeding at 18 km per hour. So speed of cyclist is given at the turn. So let us write what are the given things. The speed of the cyclist is v equal to 18 km per hour. So it must be converted into SI units. 18 into 5 by 18. So it becomes 5 meter per second. 5 meter per second. So if he is taking turn with the 5 meter per second on a sharp turn of radius of the turn is 3 meter. Will he be able to take turn safely without slipping or will he slip? That is the given problem. Coefficient of static friction is given. Mu s is equal to 0.1. So in the last session we discussed when a vehicle is taking turn on a banked road, the horizontal component of normal force and the frictional force, both together provide the necessary centripetal force to take turn with maximum speed, maximum permissible speed. But here the road is level. So only possibility is the component of frictional force. The frictional force, that is static frictional force, must be able to provide necessary centripetal force. So that is the condition. So on an unbanked road, so what I should write? On an unbanked road, the frictional force, that is static friction, the frictional force which opposes the impending motion. Static friction provides the necessary centripetal force. The frictional force only, the frictional force alone provides necessary centripetal force. So what is the maximum permissible speed to take on a level turn? What is the maximum permissible speed to take turn on a level turning road, level curved road? So I will write that equation. Maximum permissible speed take turn on a curved road. We have derived this. V square is equal to mu s rg. If it is v square, that is the maximum. Means v square, the speed with which the cyclist taking turn must be less than this. This is maximum. Vm square or V max square. So V square must be less than or equal to Vs Rg. So in order to not to slip, he should ride the bicycle with a speed less than Vs Rg. So let us find out what is the value of Vs Rg. Here mu s Rg equal to mu s is 0.1 and R is 3 meter, and let us take acceleration due to gravity for simplicity 10 meter per second square. Let us take g to be equal to 10 meter per second square. Then if you cancel this comes out to be 3 meter square per second square because it is v square. So the speed of the cyclist must be less than this. But what is the speed of the cyclist here? So allowed speed is, you can call this as v naught, safe speed. So v naught square is maximum value, maximum permissible value, Vm only. Let us take Vm square is equal to 3 meter square per second square. That is Vm is equal to root of 3. Root 3 means 1.71 meter per second. But you see the speed with which the cyclist is taking turn. Here, speed of cyclist is 5 meter per second, which we have calculated here. 5 meter per second. So definitely 5 meter per second is very much larger than Ms Rg. Therefore, the cyclist will not be able to take turn safely. So the cyclist slips while taking this sharp turn. While taking the sharp turn. So this is the problem. This is how we need to solve the problem. Now, one more interesting thing is there. Whenever a cyclist is taking turn on a curved road, the cyclist bends. Why does a cyclist bend? Why does a cyclist lean inwards while taking a circular sharp turn? That let us discuss now. So that will provide more speed than this safe speed. Let us discuss about that. Okay, now let us discuss very interesting situation we have all experienced. Whenever we are taking turn with the help of bicycle or even bike also, when we are taking turn on a level road, we lean inwards. Why does a cyclist bend, or why does a cyclist lean inwards while taking turn? He leans inwards. The reason is, when he leans inwards, if you draw the components of normal force, this is the normal reaction force. If you draw the components of normal force, you see, this is the angle theta in which he leans inwards. Suppose this is the radius of the circular turn, and it is towards the center of that circular turn. If you draw the components of n, then you see this becomes horizontal component and this component becomes vertical component. And you see, this is the weight of the cyclist, mg. So if theta is the angle with respect to vertical line, then this theta and this theta are equal. So if you draw the components, then vertical component becomes n cos theta, which balances the weight, and horizontal component inwards becomes n sin theta. This n sin theta is important. This horizontal component, which is acting inwards, provides the necessary centripetal force for the cyclist to take turn when he leans inwards. That's why the cyclist, while taking turn, bends inwards or leans inwards. You must have experienced, as well as you have seen the videos of race bikes while taking turn, even if it is a level road, while taking turn, the motorbikist, they bend inwards and they will ride the bike with higher and higher speed. So in addition to this horizontal component of normal force, the force of friction between the tires and the road surface also provides the necessary centripetal force, so that the bike rider can ride with little higher speed, but one should be careful while taking turn with higher and higher speed, right? So we can write the reason for this. The cyclist leans. This is the reason, this is the situation when the cyclist is going without bending. Without bending, if it goes with straight situation, then weight of the cyclist acts vertically downwards and normal reaction force applied by the surface acts vertically upwards. There is no question of any centripetal force. So situation is this one. In this situation, what happens? The cyclist slips if he doesn't ride the bicycle with low speed. If he rides the bicycle with high speed, definitely he is going to slip. So the bending provides him necessary centripetal force. The normal, what is that? Horizontal component of the horizontal component of a normal force or normal reaction acting inwards provides necessary centripetal force. So that he can ride the bicycle with little higher speed. So if you write the equation for the forces in equilibrium, the weight is balanced by vertical component, that is n cos theta, and n sin theta provides the necessary centripetal force. N sin theta is equal to mv square by r, where r is the radius of that circular turn and v is the speed with which he is taking turn, and m is the mass of the cyclist plus cycle. Together it is mass of the cyclist plus cycle. So this is equation number 1. N cos theta balances the weight. So if you take the ratio n sin theta by n cos theta, n sin theta by n cos theta, then it becomes tan theta. M cancels. We will get v square by rg. V square by rg. Therefore, the angle through which he leans, with respect to vertical line, that angle is very important. Tan theta must be equal to v square by rg. Tan theta is equal to v square by rg, or v square is equal to rg tan theta. So with the knowledge of this angle of leaning inwards, we can calculate what is the maximum permissible speed for the cyclist. There also he should not exceed more than this angle theta. If he exceeds more than that angle theta, then there is a possibility of slipping down. So here we have neglected force. So force of friction. If you consider force of friction, along with n sin theta, there must be Fs, force of static friction. So both together they will be providing necessary centripetal force. So tan theta equal to v square by rg is the angle of leaning with respect to vertical line. So that gives us theta equal to tan inverse of v square by rg. So I think you got the point. Why does the cyclist bend or lean inwards? It should lean inwards. while taking a turn. The horizontal component of normal force provides in necessary centripetal force. Horizontal component of normal force provides in necessary centripetal force along with the force of friction. That's how he can ride the bicycle with higher speed than this minimum speed, and he will be safe. Let us solve one more problem, interesting problem. An aircraft executes a horizontal loop at a speed of 720 km per hour. It executes a horizontal loop in the air. It is executing horizontal loop. I have just drawn schematically at a speed of 720 km per hour with its wings banked at 15 degree. While taking horizontal loop, you must have observed the wings of the aircraft will be banked. The wings are banked with an angle theta equal to angle of banking 15 degree. What is the radius of the loop? What is the radius of the loop? Again, you can apply the same concept of bending of cyclist. Similar concept. Here there is a bending on the road surface. Here it is bending in the air. Bending of the wings at 15 degree with respect to horizontal level. So the same bending will be there for normal force also with the same angle theta, that is angle of banking 15 degree. So we can apply the same equation here. Speed equal to 720 km per hour. So convert this into SI unit. 720 into 5 by 18. So it becomes 18 ones are 8 to 40s are. So it becomes 40 into 5. 200 meter per second. 200 meter per second. Next, the angle of banking theta is equal to 15 degree. Yes. What is the value of radius of this loop? Now look at the diagram. When it takes turn with a certain angle of banking, the horizontal component of the normal force, provides the necessary centripetal force Fc towards the center of this loop. If O is the center of the loop, then Fc, centripetal force Mv square by R, is provided by n sin theta, and n cos theta balances the weight. Same thing, n sin theta equal to Mv square by R, centripetal force. There is no question of friction here. So n cos theta is equal to mg, that is weight of the aircraft. Then take the ratio n sin theta by n cos theta. Again same equation equal to mv square by r divided by mg. M cancels, so you are left with v square by rg. So n cancels here. So n sin theta by n cos theta. N sin theta by n cos theta. So it becomes tan theta. Tan theta equal to v square by rg. Same equation. Therefore, we are asked to calculate r, radius of the horizontal loop. Therefore, r is equal to v square by, take this tan theta downwards, g tan theta. V square by g tan theta. Just substitute the values. V is 200. 200 into 200 divided by g. Let us take g to be 10 for convenience. 10 meter per second square. Tan theta, tan 15. So must get the value of tan 15 from the table. So if you get the value of tan 15 from the table, it comes out to be 0.26. It comes out to be 0.26 tan 15 degree. So 1 0 can cancel here. So you are left with 2 2 the 4, 4000 divided by tan 15.26. So this is the answer, that is radius of the loop. So that comes out to be about 14,928 meter. 14,928 meter. So in terms of kilometers, 14.93 kilometer. So I can write off 14.93 kilometers is the radius of this horizontal loop. So this knowledge of banking and leaning helps us to solve such interesting problems. Let us solve one more problem on vehicle moving on a banked road. Let us solve this one more interesting problem. A circular race track of radius 300 meter is banked at an angle of 15 degree. Angle of banking of the race track is 15 degree. Circular race track. If the coefficient of friction between the wheels of the race car and the road is 0.2, coefficient of static friction is given, mu s equal to 0.2. What is the optimum speed of the car to avoid wear and tear on its tires? Second one, maximum permissible speed to negotiate the banked road, banked curve. What is the maximum permissible speed to avoid the slipping? These are the two parts. So for the first part, optimum speed or safe speed, we have defined earlier already, is that speed on the banked road for which the tires should get minimum friction. The tire should not have any wear and tear. The tire surface should not have wear and tear. So that is called as optimum speed. So when the vehicle is going with optimum speed, only the horizontal component of normal force provides the necessary centripetal force, and the friction component should be taken 0. So mu s should be taken 0. So for optimum speed, mu s if it is taken 0, we get v naught equal to, as we have derived earlier, square root of rg tan theta. Mu s should be taken 0. So just substitute the values of r, g and angle of banking. Angle of banking is 15 degree. R is 300 meter. From the given thing, 300 meter. Angle of banking is 15 degree. So let us take acceleration due to gravity 10, so that it becomes convenient to solve. So tan 50 square root of this entire thing. So tan 15, as we got it earlier, we can take 0.26. So 300 into 10 becomes 3000 into 0.26 square root of that. So if you calculate this, so it comes out to be v naught is equal to 28.1 meter per second. 28.1 meter per second. This is the safe speed, so that the tires of the vehicle will not have wear and tear. Now let us calculate the second one. Maximum permissible speed. So in this case of maximum permissible speed, we calculate Vmax. There both horizontal component of normal force as well as the horizontal component of frictional force add together to give the necessary centrifugal force. And thus finally we get square root of Rg into, we got it, mu s plus tan theta plus mu s divided by 1 minus mu s tan theta. Just substitute these values. Square root of 300 into 10 into tan 15. Tan 15 already we got 0.26 plus mu s. Mu s value is equal to 0.2. Mu s value is 0.2 divided by 1 minus mu s. Mu s is 0.2 into 0.2 into tan 15, 0.26. So if you calculate and take the square root of entire thing, if you get the result, it comes out to be more than this, 38.1 meter per second. So this is the advantage of banking. Advantage of banking. So now I will give you one numerical problem so that you can solve it yourself. Okay, just read the problem. A train runs along an unbanked circular turn of radius 30 meter. A train is running along a circular turn whose radius of the curved path is 30 meter at a speed of 54 km per hour. So 54 km per hour converted into meter per second, it becomes 15 meter per second. 54 into 5 by 18. So it becomes 15 meter per second. Okay, fine. The mass of the train is 10 raised to 6 kilogram. Don't worry about the mass. While calculating the speed and all, mass doesn't play any role at all. Okay, just to confuse, the mass of the train is given 10 raised to 6 kg. Question is, what provides the necessary centripetal force required for this purpose of taking turn on a level track? Second one, is it engine or rails? Is it engine providing or rails? So rails means two rails will be there, inner rail and outer rail. While taking turn, inner rail will be there, outer rail. Okay. What is the angle of banking required to prevent wearing out of the rails? If at all banking is required, angle of banking is required for the track, for the railway track, so that outer rail should be raised, keeping the inner rail as it is. So if that banking is required, what is the angle of banking? So that there will be no wearing out of the rails. There will be no wearing out of the rails and the wearing out of the wheels, you can say. Okay. So I will give you a hint. First one, what provides the necessary centripetal force required for this purpose? The necessary centripetal force required for this purpose is provided by the rails on the wheels. It is due to the rails which provide the necessary centripetal force on the wheels. The wheels, that is a lateral force is provided. A lateral force is provided by the rails on the wheels. Rails, you see, when they are taking a curved path, the wheels are also taking turn on the curved path. So the lateral force provided by the rails on the wheels, that provides lateral force provided by the rails on the wheels provides the necessary centripetal force. Then which rails? Is it inner rail or outer rail or the engine? Definitely not the engine. So it is the outer rail. The outer rail provides the necessary centripetal force, which will be acting towards the center of that track. So that will provides the necessary centripetal force in the form of friction. Then what is the angle of banking required to prevent wearing out of the rails? So again you can use the same equation. V naught square is equal to Rg tan theta. Same equation. V naught square, optimum speed, V naught square is equal to Rg tan theta. So that tan theta can be directly calculated as V naught square upon Rg. Just substitute the values, you will get the value of theta. So from the table, you can find out the value of theta. So thank you. Have a nice day. Good day.